time as temperatures warm into the upper 30s. That's the other story today. It's 34 in Pittsburgh, 34 in Greensburg. Much colder air this afternoon than what we had out there yesterday. I'm going to walk you through the hour-by-hour temperature forecast for the rest of the day and let you know how long this snow hangs on coming up.
Breaking now, the Minnesota Department of Corrections just released Derek Chauvin's new mugshot. And even though he was found guilty on all charges yesterday in the death of George Floyd, this case is far from closed. The conviction is only another step in a process that continues with Chauvin's sentencing in a couple of months. NBC's Chris Pallone has more on this from outside the courthouse in Minneapolis.
A sense of relief here in Minneapolis the day after the verdict in the Derek Chauvin trial. It was a peaceful night in the Twin Cities, and now it's a normal Wednesday morning here in Minneapolis. People gathered hours ago to hear this verdict as it came down outside the courthouse. They wanted to experience it for themselves, and once that verdict did come down, a flood of emotions overtook this city. People were overjoyed. People were experiencing relief. They experienced some grief. Many people started to gather in the place that's now known as George Floyd Square, the area where he died a little less than a year ago. At times it resembled a street party. People were cooking, they were bringing flowers, remembering George Floyd and reflecting on what this verdict might mean going forward for relations between police and especially black people in the United States. We've heard a lot of reaction from around the nation, including from George Floyd's family. His brother appeared with Craig Melvin on the Today Show this morning.
How do you feel?
I feel good, man. I feel special. I feel like this is a day that we all been waiting for. Somebody was tortured to death, and the world seen that, and everybody spoke up. And man, George, man, he's living in me right now.
Derek Chauvin is in prison today. He will be for the next 2 months, awaiting sentencing. That's scheduled in about 8 weeks. There's a wide range of possible sentences that he could get for his 3 convictions, but if he gets the maximum, he could be facing upwards of 40 years in prison. In Minneapolis, I'm Chris Pallone. Now back to you.
The Department of Justice also announced this morning it's taking a close look at the entire Minneapolis Police Department and its practices. The 3 other officers facing charges in Floyd's death are expected to be tried together in August. They are all charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder and aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter. Chapter 11 was over a crowd of people marching through Pittsburgh. Following the verdict last night, the group started gathering at Freedom Corner. The march lasted for about 5 hours. Police worked with the demonstrators to block off the marching route during rush hour, and the demonstration remained peaceful. Many people are hoping this decision will lead to change across the country, including right here in Western PA. The Black Political Empowerment Project has called for immediate changes. In a nearly 7-page letter, they explained America is at a crossroads when it comes to law enforcement and their actions with minorities. They want police to suspend certain traffic stops, especially following the shooting death of Daunte Wright. In exchange, they suggest a summons be sent to the driver to appear in traffic court where they could explain their actions before a judge. Organizations like the NAACP are fighting for the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. That bill passed the House, calls for banning neck restraints on a federal level and regulating qualified immunity for police.
We ask for the partnership of both our political leadership and the leadership of all area police departments in making the slogan, "Protect and Serve," a living reality.
BPEP has since sent their letter to city and county officials. Their hope is to work directly with them to bring full-scale change moving forward. Pittsburgh Police Chief Scott Schubert released a statement on the guilty verdict. You may remember last summer, Schubert walked with Black Lives Matter protesters, and at one point he joined them in taking a knee. His statement says, in part, law enforcement is always evolving, and the Pittsburgh Bureau of Police remains steadfast in its commitment to working hand in hand with the public to implement professional law enforcement services that are fair, equitable, transparent, and just to all members of the community. A man pumping gas at a Wawa convenience store near Allentown this morning was shot and killed by another man. He also shot and wounded another person in the parking lot. Investigators say a worker heard the shots and likely saved customers.
There was an employee of Wawa who was taking out trash and heard the gunshots. He ushered 2 prospective customers from the parking lot into the Wawa, and he alerted the employees in the Wawa to shelter in place, and he locked the doors. So all credit to him.
Police believe the gunman first tried to shoot a person driving near the convenience store before pulling into the parking lot and firing more shots. Police say the shooter ran down the road and took his own life. Pittsburgh police are looking for the driver they think hit a man and killed him. Police say 2 women flagged them down at around 11 last night on Kelly Street in Homewood and said a man was hit by a car and the car just drove off. Paramedics got the man to the hospital, but he passed away. Breaking out, an alarming new report from the Allegheny County Health Department. Health officials are reporting 12 additional COVID-19 related deaths. All but 1 patient died this month. Health officials also said they've learned of 340 new cases since yesterday. Monongahela Valley Hospital contacted Channel 11 to tell us that it has a large supply of the Pfizer vaccine and there are appointments available as early as this afternoon. The vaccine will be given out at the Carroll Township Social Hall. The hospital says there is no waiting call. You can go to the hospital's website to make an appointment. Pennsylvania is expanding the number of COVID-19 vaccine providers as soon as next month. The acting health secretary says supply is about to catch up to demand. Larger providers say they've seen a drop in appointments and are reducing their vaccine orders. This means smaller providers could get new shipments in the next 2 or 3 weeks. In about an hour, President Joe Biden is set to talk about the latest information on the COVID-19 response. Every day, millions of people are rolling up their sleeves to get vaccinated. But as Britt Conway reports, a lot of people are also rolling back safety measures. And now more and more kids are testing positive for the virus.
More people in the United States are being vaccinated every single day at an accelerated pace.
That's the good news. The bad news:
cases and hospitalizations are increasing in some areas of the country.
But you wouldn't know it based on a recent poll from Axios Ipsos that shows people are getting more lax about public health measures. 53% said they visited family and friends in the last week. 48% went out to eat. And 63% said they wore a mask the entire time they were away from home, the lowest since July. Health experts say they get it.
Just like all of you, I want to get back to doing the things I love.
But we're not there yet. More people need to be vaccinated. Not to mention,
there are no licensed vaccines. There are no approved vaccines for children.
And now the American Academy of Pediatrics says children are making up a growing share of new COVID-19 cases, accounting for nearly 21% from April 8th through 15th, with more than 88,000 cases. Companies have been testing the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines on children, with Pfizer looking to extend its emergency use authorization to those 12 to 15 years old. And there are trials underway for kids younger than that.
Perfect.
But until then,
we need to wear masks. We need to wash our hands. We need to do these things to protect children.
Look at you, brave kid.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
The Pine Richland School Board is defending its decision to fire the entire football coaching staff. At New at Noon, we've learned the district sent a letter home to parents detailing their investigation. Board members say a 3-month investigation documented the football program's allegations of inappropriate student conduct, including hazing, bullying, intimidation, and rites of passage, and say the investigation included interviews with dozens of students, coaches, and parents. The coaches deny there was any bullying or hazing. In the letter sent to parents, the district says the Pine Richland School District is fully compliant with all required notifications, including to state and local authorities like the Northern Regional Police Department. A substitute teacher is accused of stalking a teenager in Somerset County. Michael Johnson was arrested last week after police were called to Turkeyfoot Valley Area High School. Investigators say he was stalking a 17-year-old girl. New details on steelworkers striking at Allegheny Technologies. The Trib has learned ATI has given striking workers until Monday to accept the company's latest contract offer. If they don't accept it, the company says the offer will be replaced with one reflecting the costs of the strike. The union did not comment on the offer, but said it will meet tomorrow and provide an update after the meeting. You'll soon see more than cars and bikes driving through Bloomfield. Robots will be hitting the sidewalks. Channel 11's Mike Holden found out why Bloomfield was chosen for the pilot program.
Technology is the future. At least that's the case right here in Bloomfield. A new pilot program through the city will bring robots right here to the sidewalks to make deliveries right to your home. We've talked plenty about bike lanes and making room for cyclists in the city, but what about making way for delivery robots on your sidewalks? The city's Department of Mobility and Infrastructure is working on a 6-month-long pilot program that would test out delivery devices here in Bloomfield. They are partnering with KiwiBot. The LA-based company creates these robots that can make deliveries at a rapid rate and charge you less than $2. The KiwiBots could operate specifically right here in Bloomfield. Officials say that area was chosen because of its wide sidewalks and diverse population. The city hopes to study their success rate, analyze if they're safe, and look into how folks adapt to them. We talked to quite a few people and got mixed reaction.
I don't like it at all. At least you can talk to somebody that gives you something. I can't talk to no robot.
I would definitely use it if it's not too bad. My only concern is it gonna, affect the local traffic? And if it's gonna, the sidewalk here is pretty wide.
And the city says this pilot program is set to start sometime in June and then go well into fall. We're going to track each and every development. But in the meantime, are these robots really necessary? And how will folks adapt to them? That part of the story for Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting in Bloomfield, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
We still have a little snow out there, but coming up, we're talking temperatures. I'm going to let you know what temperature to expect later this afternoon, plus just how cold it will get into tomorrow morning.
I realized how bad it could have been. I mean, if we hadn't heard the splash.
The life-saving lessons a 2-year-old boy had that saved his life. And there's a long list of symptoms that comes with getting COVID, and there's one you may not have heard about, how the virus can cause COVID eyes. We have all heard of the symptoms of COVID-19. It can do more to your long-term health than even realized, even your vision. Marcella Quadra spoke with an eye doctor to find out the signs you should be watching out for.
As COVID-19 continues to loom across the country with new variants forming, doctors are still unsure of the potential long-term effects the virus may have. But the question is, can COVID have an effect on your vision?
Coronavirus is a virus, and the eye is vulnerable to virus infection through the soft tissue called the conjunctiva.
Dr. Hart says one patient reported their left eye turning red and being sensitive to light while having COVID.
And it passed. As the coronavirus kind of waned, that eye problem passed. Their vision dropped a little bit, according to the patient.
He says the eyes are incredibly sensitive, which makes them susceptible to viruses.
I don't think there's anything special about coronavirus. Many viruses, like an adenovirus, so-called pink eye, cause the same sort of thing.
He says like any virus, if it enters through the conjunctiva, your eyes can get irritated.
You can have blurred vision due to inflammation inside the eye. You can have a little bit of discomfort of the eye. There can be swelling of the optic nerve in extreme cases.
For now, Dr. Hart says the impact of COVID on your eye is not conclusive.
There's not any studies being done. The one study that's being done was done by, I think, telephone and maybe by mail. So there's nobody really looking at the patients because everybody's been locked down.
If you do find yourself with vision issues potentially related to COVID, doctors say it should disappear within 2 weeks, just like any common pink eye virus. Universal free lunch has been extended through next school year. The waiver program was set to end in September. The goal of the program is to help families having a hard time keeping up because of job losses or remote learning. The waivers go to schools so they can provide kids a free meal and set up curbside pickup for families with students learning from home. It's estimated that on any given day, 12 million children experience food insecurity. A Central Pennsylvania mother is accused of creating fake medical records for her daughter, authorizing unnecessary procedures, and scamming charities for nearly 5 years. Shelly Noraya is accused of lying, saying her daughter was sick when she really wasn't. Police say the Cumberland County woman got donations through online charities and local churches. She's also accused of giving doctors false conditions, which led to unnecessary treatments. In one case, a surgically placed feeding tube led to the girl becoming sick. Her mother is charged with assault, child endangerment, and theft. Subaru has announced 2 recalls impacting nearly 900,000 cars. The voluntary recalls include the Impreza, Crosstrek, and Forester. The first recall involves ignition coils. The second involves retorquing bolts. Owners will be contacted. No accidents or injuries have been reported. The city of Pittsburgh is fighting blight. Mayor Bill Peduto signed an executive order for a deconstruction policy. The mayor says it's designed to move building materials from landfills to help the climate. The plan also creates job training opportunities across the city. President Joe Biden is expected to pledge to cut U.S. greenhouse gas emissions in half by 2030 when he meets with world leaders this week. That would nearly double the nation's previous commitment and pressure other countries to cut their emissions. The 2-day summit will include leaders from 40 countries. The Penguins and PPG Paints Arena have joined the Green Sports Alliance. The environmentally focused nonprofit involves stakeholders from around the world. Penn's president David Morehouse says this is the latest step in the franchise's commitment to being environmentally responsible.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Good afternoon. Here we are in late April, and we are dealing with really cold air, strong winds, and we even have had some snow. We had a steady burst of snow that dropped 1 to 2 inches across parts of our area earlier this morning. If you look on our tower cam, you can still see a little snow on the trees, although we have seen quite a bit of melting. 34 currently in the city. It's 34 in Greensburg and Indiana, 33 in Butler. We're all bundled up this afternoon. The winds 10 to 15 miles per hour sustained are gusting as high as 18 in Beaver and 18 in Washington. I am expecting these winds to increase throughout the day with occasional gusts to 30 miles per hour this afternoon. The current winds, though, make it feel like the mid-20s outside. So if you're stepping out for lunch, you're going to need that heavier coat still. 25 the feels like in the city, 28 in Washington at this hour. Here's our day planner for the rest of today. The temperatures won't be climbing a whole lot. We're looking at temperatures in the upper 30s, and I mentioned those those winds. That's that windy icon you're seeing there at 5 o'clock. And it's going to be cold into tomorrow morning. We have a freeze warning that will go into effect 1 a.m. to 10 a.m. for Thursday. That is for the areas here in purple. That's because the growing season has begun. So if you do have any tender vegetation, make sure you wrap that up before bed tonight. 27 the overnight low, some isolated snow still in the picture. I don't think we're going to have widespread snow showers, but there could still be a few spots lingering on overnight. The winds do come down late tonight out of the west at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's what I'm thinking for the rest of the day and night. So we look at Storm Tracker here, and you're going to notice a few spots of snow, maybe even a little bit of rain mixed in as the air temperatures climb just a little bit. And those isolated snow showers could continue overnight. Into tomorrow, it's partly sunny, meaning more clouds than sun, but I still think we could get some rays of sun peeking through the clouds from time to time, as well as a few flurries still possible. We have just enough moisture on the backside of the system to bring us that chance. Temperatures, though, in the afternoon are going to be climbing into the upper 40s. So the flurry chance is more so in the morning and then also in the higher elevations of the ridges throughout the day. The winds will increase tomorrow afternoon. Coming up in the next half hour, we'll take a look at the hour-by-hour wind forecast, not only for the rest of today, but also tomorrow, and the wind chill forecast for you. But just know that those winds could gust up to 25 miles per hour out of the west-northwest. 5-day forecast with their weekend always in view. We get to near 60 Friday, 61 Saturday. And if you are heading out this weekend, know that the better day to get outside will be Saturday during the day. The evening will bring some showers, and we're going to have showers continue into Sunday with that high temperature of 57. There are signs that temperatures will get close to 80 degrees in our forecast, so I'm going to let you know when that might happen as well, coming up in the next half hour.
It's time for some spring cleaning, and not just around your house. Our consumer advisor explains why you might want to check any bills set up for automatic payment.
Like, I realized how bad it could have been. I mean, if we hadn't heard the splash.
The life-saving lessons a 2-year-old boy had that saves his life. Coming up next. A little boy, just 2 years old, saved himself when he almost drowned. He was paying attention when his mom took him for swimming lessons, and reporter Waukesha Bailey has more on the life-saving lesson he learned.
I know what could have happened. Like, that's when I get emotional. Like, I realize how bad it could have been. I mean, if we hadn't heard the splash and he hadn't had swim lessons, I don't know if he'd be here.
Kyle is only 2 years old, and he saved himself from almost drowning last week in his family's pool.
The late second, we heard a splash.
Kyle's mother, Tracy Siegel, says their home is undergoing renovations. As a result, the pool fence has been removed, and Kyle's older brother left the door open. That led to the pool, and out the door Kyle went.
We saw Kyle float to the top, roll on his back, and swim to the edge of the pool and get out, himself fully clothed.
Kyle's swimming instructor, Tony Anacapinelli, gives Kyle a high five after he demonstrated effortlessly the roll back and float method that also saved his life.
So we teach lessons through sensory motor and through water levels in the water and through touch.
Anacapinelli is a certified infant resource instructor. She's taught hundreds of babies to swim and float at her infant swimming resource swim school in Royal Palm Beach.
Due to COVID and everything, he was out of lessons for quite a while. He came back to me for about 4 lessons. It was about a year lapse. And he still maintained the skills that he was taught a year prior.
She says it takes repetition and commitment from parents like Siegel and, of course, Kyle.
Learned
some great lessons there, obviously very important. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, unintentional drowning is among the leading causes of death for children under the age of 4.
Wind chills right now are in the mid-20s. Coming up, I'll walk you through that wind forecast for the rest of the day. Plus, we'll take a look at the wind chill forecast as we head into tomorrow.
With the conviction of former police officer Derek Chauvin, there is a renewed push for police reform. We take a look at what's happening in Washington next. Live look from the Channel 11 Tower Cam. You can see snow still in some of the trees there and on the grass. It is cold and windy right now. And here's a look from Aspinwall as the snow was falling this morning, a light coating on the grass. Far from spring weather, meteorologist Danielle Dozier is now tracking the changes, and it's going to be a bit of a wind chill as we head into tomorrow.
It is, and we should be having high temperatures in the lower 60s for this day of the year. Temperatures rolling in the 30s. The snow is still falling in spots. We've got snow in Indiana, snow out toward the Greensburg area and eastern Westmoreland County out toward Latrobe and Ligonier. Scattered snow showers back in Ohio continuing to push toward the southeast. I think we're going to have a few spots of snow for the rest of the day, mixed in at times with a little bit of rain. We have continued to track this really cold and windy weather. There are signs that the winds will be increasing throughout the day. Gusts to 30 miles per hour this afternoon are expected, but the wind comes down right around 10 p.m. and it'll be light out the door tomorrow morning, but the winds do increase once again tomorrow afternoon to about 10 to 20 miles per hour sustained, with some higher gusts to 25. What does all of this mean for you? Well, if you're heading out this afternoon, you're going to need your heavier coat because we're going to have wind chills in the lower 30s this afternoon. And then as those winds turn lighter, the air temperature continues to cool. So we're still, even with a light wind, looking at a wind chill down in the lower 20s tomorrow morning. And as the air temperatures once again climb Thursday afternoon, winds will pick up. Wind chills will be down in the 30s and 40s. So it's, again, one of those days where we're going to need our heavier coat tomorrow, I think, especially in the morning. The air temperature, not too bad tomorrow. We'll take a look at that forecast. Plus, I have some pictures to share with you of the snowfall that's coming up.
All right, thanks, Danielle. With the conviction of former police officer Derek Chauvin, pressures mounting for Congress to take action on police reform. Kristen Wright is in our Washington bureau, where lawmakers are grappling with what to do.
The George Floyd Policing Act passed the House, but stalled in the Senate. But now that Derek Chauvin is going to prison for George Floyd's murder, convicted on every charge, the future of policing is front and center. The White House is urging the Senate to pass the police reform bill. President Biden made that very clear when speaking after the guilty verdict came down yesterday. But police reform is a highly partisan issue in Congress. Democrats point to Floyd's murder and other deadly police encounters as evidence that policing must change. Republicans challenged the bill's provision banning something called qualified immunity for police, which shields law enforcement from some lawsuits. So far, no word on when the Senate may take up the legislation. Today, the Department of Justice announced that it's opening an investigation into the Minneapolis Police Department to determine whether there is a pattern or practice of unconstitutional or unlawful policing. In Washington, Kristen Wright, Channel 11 News.
Pitt is hosting a COVID vaccine clinic for students and employees. Pitt received 500 Moderna doses from the State Department of Health. The clinic is at the Peterson Event Center. It runs until 6 tonight. Health officials are encouraging students to get vaccinated before the end of the spring semester. They say you should get the first dose even if you're not going to be in town to get the second. Many clinics offer second doses no matter where you get that first shot. Today's clinic comes as Pitt adds 13 new COVID cases to their dashboard. 65 students are currently in isolation. More money is needed to make sure future elections run smoothly. That's the testimony just given by Allegheny County Chief Executive Rich Fitzgerald. The Trib reports Fitzgerald testified to a state committee yesterday that election costs have gone up 130% since 2019. He says changes made to the state's voting laws in recent years were passed without a way to pay for it. More than half of the money spent on the 2020 election was paid by taxpayers. Pandemic relief money helped pay for the rest. But Fitzgerald noted that those funds wouldn't be there in the future. Last year was the first time voters could request a mail-in ballot in Pennsylvania without providing a reason. Meanwhile, several states are passing new voting laws, changing things like ID requirements and access to absentee ballots. Georgia's new voting law was front and center yesterday at a Senate hearing. The law tightens ID requirements and makes it a crime for partisan groups to give water to people waiting in line, among other changes. Opponents, mostly Democrats, say the law makes it harder for communities of color to vote. Republicans say the changes are about election integrity and not voter suppression.
This is a full-fledged assault on voting rights, unlike anything we have seen since the era of Jim Crow.
It's disgusting and offensive to compare the actual voter suppression and violence of that era that we grew up in with a state law that only asks that people show their ID.
This year, the House passed the For the People Act, which Democrats argue will help undo state voter restrictions. Republicans call the bill a power grab for Democrats. A state lawmaker says kids lack basic civics knowledge, and she wants to make it a requirement before graduating high school. The test proposed would include questions like, what did the Declaration of Independence do? Who is the governor? And name the 3 branches of government. A 2019 survey found 39% of adults were unable to answer these questions. The new bill would require students pass the civics test before getting a diploma. Financial literacy can help alleviate many money problems, but only a handful of states require high school students to take a personal finance class to graduate. That could soon change. CNBC's Sharon Epperson takes a look at the state of financial education.
Any guesses?
They give it an abbreviation.
Correct.
We first met Olivia Raymond in early 2020 in her personal finance class in middle school. Now, a year later, 14-year-old Olivia is still using those important money lessons.
Those are skills that can be applied when I go for a job or when I apply to colleges.
A 9th grader attending high school remotely in New Jersey, she's looking forward to continuing to gain access to valuable financial education. New Jersey is one of 21 states requiring students to take personal finance coursework in order to graduate from high school. And those numbers are growing. So far this year, 25 state legislatures and D.C. have introduced financial education bills.
This is the opportunity for folks to reach out to their state legislators to say this is important.
The economy has been fluctuating up and down. We need to know these things.
Zoe McCall testified in front of her local school board in Maryland last year, advocating for requiring a personal finance class in the district's high schools.
I can make a difference with the proper knowledge to make good financial decisions.
The board passed a resolution adding financial literacy as a graduation requirement.
It will be implemented for my class. It's just very, very exciting.
The oldest sibling in her family, Zoe, now 15, says it's an important victory for future generations too.
And no matter what age you are, it's good to have those conversations.
What do we know about economy?
Even as young as 8 and 9 years old.
The rest is in the bank.
This Ohio elementary school is using music videos and online tools like SmartPath to make money lessons fun for these 3rd graders.
No matter how you pay, it's still money you're spending.
You have to pay back if it's on a credit card.
Financial literacy for students of all ages has become a national movement.
It's for us. This is what we want. This is going to impact us directly.
That Zoe and others hope will continue to grow. For CNBC, I'm Sharon Epperson.
From cash to credit, then your phone. Now there's a new way to pay at the grocery store, where Amazon is testing palm print payments. President Biden's green infrastructure package is getting support from the coal industry. The president of the United Mine Workers of America says the $2 trillion plan will create desperately needed jobs. Supporters say Biden's plan focuses on infrastructure while moving to greener energy. They say rebuilding bridges, airports, and ports would benefit the coal industry because of the increased demand for steel. Another plan coming out of the White House is to take steps to protect the country's electrical grid from cyber attacks. It calls for a joint public and private effort to modernize utilities' control systems, which could be vulnerable to hackers. The initiative comes after experts cited increased cyber threats to critical infrastructure during the pandemic. No word yet from power suppliers about how the plan would be funded. Amazon is rolling out biometric technology. Right now, it's just at Whole Foods stores in Seattle. It lets shoppers pay for items with just a swipe of their palm. The system, called Amazon One, will link a credit card with a customer's palm print, offering a contactless alternative to paying with cash and cards.
We'll have some flurries around tomorrow. I'll let you know what the temperatures will be like, though. Plus, I am forecasting near 80 degrees in our extended forecast. I'll let you know what day that looks to arrive.
It's time for some spring cleaning, and not just around your house. Our consumer advisor explains why you might want to check any bills set up for automatic payments. Automatic billing is convenient. You don't have to worry about missing a payment. But our consumer advisor Clark Howard explains why it might be time to check to see what you're paying for.
Every last one of us has a problem with our wallet. You know what that problem is? We set up things for automatic billing. Whatever it could be a gym membership is the most common one, but many other things as well. Could be a streaming service, really big now. A lot of the things that we have set up for recurring billing, we never use them. All right, I want you to look through your credit card statements, your checking account, and see those recurring things. And when you realize, hey, I'm not using that, I'm not going there, then make the phone call or go to the website to discontinue that bill. That's like money back in your wallet. If there was $20 sitting on the street, you're going to pick it up, right? Well, you're throwing away money like that each and every month on things you don't use. I'm Clark Howard.
Help wanted signs posted for 84 Lumber. They're looking to hire, dozens of people in the Pittsburgh area. The Washington County-based company is holding a hiring event Tuesday at the Hampton Inn in Bridgeville. They're looking to fill jobs in the lumber yard, the field, and the operations manager. You can pre-register for an interview online. This week, the state DEP will start spraying for gnats. They'll be spraying along 48 rivers and streams in 35 counties. Officials say it's an effort to make outdoor recreation more enjoyable for Pennsylvanians.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
If you've been outside at all today, you know it's cold, it's windy. We've still got a little snow flying in certain spots. This is a picture from Michelle Green of the snow on her flowers. Even though I know a lot of us probably don't like to talk about snow in the month of April, I still think it looks pretty on the flowers out there. Hopefully you protected your flowers late last night and early this morning. If you have any weather pictures you want to send us, you can send them to us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We'll try to get them on the air for you. You can upload them as well to our website using the hashtag WPXI Storm, though, on social media. Here's a look at some of our snowfall reports from this morning. Tarentum 2 inches, Valencia picking up almost 2 inches there at 1.8, Bulgar 1.6, McCandless 1 inch, Canonsburg picking up 1 inch of snow. I think we're still going to have a few spots of snow this afternoon, mixed in with a little rain as well. That's a potential as temperatures climb to the upper 30s. If you are out walking your dog, though, today, make sure you have your heavier coat on. It'll be cloudy otherwise. Overnight tonight, mid to upper 20s. So you're wrapping up your sensitive plants and flowers overnight tonight. Before you go to bed, those temperatures are going to be falling to about 27 into tomorrow morning. 28 in Indiana, 29 in Greensburg. I showed you the wind chills are going to be in the lower 20s to start the day with a 5 to 10 mile per hour wind. So we'll have a winter coat on in the morning once again. Tomorrow, hour by hour, 8 o'clock temperature right around 31 goes to 42 at noon, 46 degrees at 5. We're topping out only in the mid 40s in the afternoon. I do expect the chance of seeing some sun peeking through those clouds tomorrow, but we also have a chance for a few flurries that could pass by in the morning as the moisture lingers behind our weather system that is ultimately moving away from our area. Tomorrow, about 47 in Pittsburgh and in Beaver, 48 Washington. Indiana, you're going to check in right around 46. So you're still going to need a jacket in the afternoon, especially when you factor in those gusty winds to 25, as I showed you a few moments ago. Here's a look at the 5-day forecast with your weekend always in view, and we've got a 32-degree air temperature once again Friday morning. So while we're under a freeze warning Thursday morning, it'll be close again Friday, so I would protect your plants once again just in case. About 60 Friday with plenty of sunshine. And if you're getting out this weekend, the pick day is Saturday. As of right now, looks like the bulk of the day will stay dry, but some showers do move in during the evening time frame. We have a weather system that's going to be approaching the area, bringing that rain. It's going to be pretty widespread once it moves in. High temperature is 61. Saturday is 46 into the morning on Sunday. That is Saturday night into Sunday. 57 degrees in the afternoon on Sunday. I am tracking a few showers on Sunday as well. It's kind of left over from our weather system. And so the pick day, if you're getting outside, would, like I said, be Saturday. Looks like the more sunshine day as well. 37 by Sunday night into Monday morning. And I hinted a little bit, Gordon and everybody at home, that our forecast as we head into next week does show that temperatures are going to be approaching 80 degrees. The day right now that it looks like that happening would be Tuesday of next week. And if you're curious, beyond Sunday, Monday looks like will be sunny as well, with temperatures in the mid-60s.
Something to look forward to. All right, thanks, Danielle. Well, you wouldn't know it by looking outside, but summer is right around the corner, and more Americans are planning a vacation. According to TripAdvisor, 2/3 of people are planning a trip. It's welcome news for the tourism industry, which saw little or no business last summer due to the pandemic. Beach getaways topped the list, with Florida and Mexico being the most popular destinations.
Hey, guys, I think we've all realized in the last year or so that the world is unpredictable. And you need to be prepared, right? You have to kind of take it upon yourself to make sure that you're ready no matter what happens. And you're going, well, where do I even start? How can I even do that? I have the best idea for you, and you're going to love it. This is called Jump Smart. So number one, This is going to be one little device that does a lot of things. Number one, it's actually going to jump start your car directly to the battery, jump start your car, not waiting for 30 minutes with it plugged into a lighter. Directly jump start your car battery. How great is that? It'll also jump start a boat, an RV, a lawnmower, an ATV, all those kinds of things too. So how fabulous is that? And not only is it going to jump start your car, because you know what? If your battery's dead and you're on the side of the road or you're in the parking lot, you don't want to go talk to strangers and ask for cables, right? You don't want to have to do that. Don't talk to anyone, jump start your own car. I need one of these in all my cars. I'm sending one to my niece in college. Now, here's another great idea. It will charge your electronic devices. Are your phones dead? Is it an iPad? Is it a gaming system? Maybe it's a long road trip. This can charge things on the way. Maybe the power is out in the house and all your kids' devices are out of power. They're going to love these in the house, and you're going to love them in the car. And wait, there's more, because it's also an amazing flashlight. So it's going to be a regular flashlight. It's going to be a flashlight that does an SOS. It's going to be a flashlight that does a strobe. It's going to be a flashlight that does all those things. And all those things are done in one Jump Smart, and you can recharge this up to 1,000 times. How amazing is that? We have great colors for you, but when you think about this, just think about the peace of mind of knowing that everyone in your family is always prepared. Right now on localsteals.com, these are 29% off, and if you're anything like me, you're counting how many rooms and how many cars you need to get one for.
Target is partnering with 3 designers for new dress collections. Christopher John Rogers, Alexis, and Rixo have designed 70 original dresses for the line's 2nd year. The dresses go for $40 to $60 and are available in a wide range of sizes. The designer dress collection is only available for a limited time, though, in the spring. Movies will return to the big screen at the Manor Movie Theater in Squirrel Hill in a couple of days. The first show is Friday. The owner says increased COVID vaccinations and loosened restrictions led to the decision to reopen. The state allows for 75% capacity in the screening room, but the owner tells the Trib he plans to open with 50%. The Carnegie Library downtown is back open. It underwent a year-long renovation project that added nearly 70% more space to the building. You can now use public computers and check out materials in person. Curbside and walk-up service is also still available. The Pirates will play a doubleheader today after yesterday's game in Detroit was postponed because of bad weather. And tickets for Pirates May games at PNC Park go on sale next week. 13 games will be held at the ballpark. It starts Monday, May 10th with the series against the Reds. Tickets will go on sale Wednesday. The ballpark is operating at limited capacity. Tickets are being sold on a month-to-month basis. That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Thanks for joining us. Our next newscast is tonight at 5. Have a great day.